Internet, hello
Okay.
and welcome to our coverage of the GRLCS Season 14 Diamond Capped Playoffs. We're about to start the cast of the finals, which are between Snake and Imperial Knights White, both of which won their semifinal yesterday. I'm Alex Ichine22, and joining me is Austin Rectio Dragon Win.
Hello, hello. Going to be some pretty interesting games we have today. I have it all mapped out for whoever's on this channel's finals. We're going to be showing off the Diamond one first up, which is the Snake versus Imperial Knights Whites. After that, we're going to be showing GSM versus Glacial Omen at 3 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, we're going to be rounding out with Reign of Kings versus the Pootie Gang. So still pretty good. So pretty good schedule coming out for today. I mean, like, nice roster at the very least.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I didn't see either of the Diamond Cap semifinals yesterday, but based on the records of these two teams coming into the playoffs, should be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're still waiting for. Oh, the guy did just join in, so I think we're actually going to be jumping into drafts relatively soon here. But yeah, this is so. I was actually the one casting for the semifinals. It was a little bit of a messy one for at least the first semifinal that we did at 12 o'clock at that day. But it was a long fought match. It was like 40, it was like 35-minute games plus per game, and because of what happened, it ended up being a 4-game series of a best of 3. Weird one, I know, but still very uh pretty intimidating sort of thing in order to get casting. We're actually pushed back to schedule. But in any case, Snake did manage to win it out in their in all those games with having to find subs on the way. But and my little pop chants are actually on the second channel. If you want to check out the third place matches, that's where we're going to be showing a lot of these third places matches. Looking over at it, we have my little pop chants versus the ISU JV. Lean Smokers versus Spawn Point at 3 o'clock, and then Mingos versus AoE Crowd Control. So it's a lot of pretty good games coming out for today. So check out here for the finals. Check out over on GR2 or or twitch.tv/GetRec2 for those third place matches. Pretty good.
Yep. Should be a good time. No matter which stream you tune into, uh, come here and or what is it on Get Wrecked? We'll be casting all of the finals, and on GR2 we'll be casting all of the third place matches. So come in, support your friends, check out the finals, check out the third place matches. It'll be a lot of fun. We're still waiting, it looks like, for Snake and Imperial Knights White to go ahead and get the draft started on the website. So that's what we're currently waiting on right now.
Yeah, currently waiting on that. But in any case, is whenever it does become ready. Let's see. Just typing out something, checking on that. But if anything, we are going to be looking for some pretty good games today. I mean, this is a little bit of a throwback for me because watching Tendies 2 and Parry Difference, their previous, I always saw them as like the kings of top lane. But previously, whenever I was watching any of their games from previous splits, this time, Parry Difference is going to be moving down to the mid lane for Imperial Knights White, so we're not going to be seeing those two titans at the top lane to duke it out. But, I mean, there's still pretty strong carries on either side. So I'll be interested to see if Tendi's 2 is going to be necessarily the carry that he's always been in that top lane, or if maybe Parry Difference or Ninja Flinger can actually maybe pull it on out there as well, because Imperial Knights White has some pretty good members on their team as well. Reading whatever they're saying in chat. Alright, just talking a little bit here. So, still have some time before we can go ahead and get into this next game. But No, draft hasn't started up yet. I can even switch over to screen and you can see that we have not done it. Right here. So, still waiting on them in order to start it up here, checking in with some admin. So, still got some time before we go ahead into these games. Still a lot to see, and it's going to be interesting on how this will go. So, I believe GR2, if you want to check those duo sides out, they have already started their draft, and they actually have a Viego in their game. That one looks like fun. So, while you're waiting for this game, you can always drop on by over there, or maybe even set up a multi-stream. I think there's like one called like Chadgar, and they can pull up both of those streams as well as chats, and you can watch the MLP versus ISUGV team while we're waiting on these guys to start their draft. Oops.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. Hello.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if we were or not. I got pulled out against my will by somebody who has admin powers in the Discord.
Let's see. I think you can check the audit logs for that, but I have streamer enabled,
No,
so.
I know who it was because I was
Oh,
talking to
okay.
him. But
Okay. All right.
no, I got dragged. But looks like we're soon to be starting for this one. I think they were just waiting on something to happen that I think we should be okay.
Hopefully so. Kind of playing around with the draft a little bit. I see the little flag. It's moving back and forth. So.
All right. It looks like they are finally ready to
All right.
go. The draft is starting on draft lol. So Snake with the higher seed coming into playoffs did get side selection, and they opted for the blue side. Their first ban away is the Nidalee away from Imperial Knights White in the jungle.
Yeah, nice pick, honestly, because Italy has that a lot of some of the strong early game, and definitely with how you can just come in, land a spear, or even just land a couple traps, come in for a lot of damage, to help maybe supplement some of your laners. Kiana's being hovered by Snake, which is a curious one at the very least. I haven't seen many Kianas, and they're actually going to go through with the ban as well.
Yeah, I think Kiana, not like the last couple patches, but a few patches back, got a few nice little buffs that made people try her out again, and people are realizing, hey, Champion's got a really nice kit, pretty strong in the mid lane. So they're just going to take it away. Somebody who's practiced on the champion is quite potent at it. Aurelia Gragas going to be banned away by Imperial Knights White, just trying to pinch away some of the uh, champions that can have a lot of impact, generally speaking, from Snake. And Snake's last ban is going to be the Lilia with a Gwen banned out by Imperial Knights White from Snake as well.
Yeah, we saw Gwen actually a lot in the Diamond series so far because Tendies 2 was playing a lot in the top lane, and even with Imperial Knights White, when I was able to catch their stream, we even saw Ninja Flinger play some Gwen himself, and they probably don't want Tendies to grab that since Snake Hat is on blue side, they get the first pick, so they're actually going to pick up the Tristana here. Interesting choice.
Yeah, first pick Tristana is, I think, fairly decent. The champion is always going to be strong in its lane. Tristana has not like outstanding. It's not like Jinx level late game or anything like that. But she does have a reset mechanic. She does have the ability to do a ton of damage just because of how quickly she can get off 3 hits with the Hail of Blades and rapid fire. Uh, it's just, I think it's generally a strong pick. The champion did get nerfed a few patches back, but I think it's always going to be good. Morgana's going to be locked in for Imperial Knights White, and I have to assume that that's going to be jungle Morgana.
Yeah, I'm going to have to assume that as well, just because how potent Morgana is in the jungle right now. Even though she got like a slight nerf, it's still a buff considered what you thought what she used to be previously. Whenever it came to jungling, it was like previously it was only like 150% extra damage to monsters, and now it's still 185%. A lot of sustain, a lot of damage for clearing camps really fast and healthy. So still nice. Xayah picked up as well as Alistar. Alistar for Snake, and then Xayah for Imperial Knights White.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that one turns out with Xayah against Alistair. That means you have a lot of power to negate the enemy support if he WQs onto you. That's generally why you pick the Xayah. Granted, the Alistair was picked into the Xayah, so we'll see if he's able to appropriately, wait for Xayah ultimate, or what is the word I'm looking for? Force the Xayah ultimate intentionally.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Let's see. Riven also picked up. It's a Tendies 2 special, and Volibear, I'm assuming for the top lane as well, which I honestly, a really good matchup into Riven still, just because you still favor a lot of these longer trades thanks to the W. But it's going to be interesting to see how that goes against Riven, or Tendies 2 Riven, and the Ivern also is going to be banned away. Good jungler, wants to see that out of here.
Yeah, Imperial Knights White have banned away the Ivern, and Snake going to take away the Thresh. Looks like now we're trying to pinch the jungle pool on the side of Imperial Knights White away from Snake, whereas Snake, they're going to try and pinch away the support pool since they have picked those are the picks that have not been chosen by their counterparts, looks like. Yeah. Actually, no. Orianna is going to be the ban away by Imperial Knights White. They want to just take away whatever they don't feel comfortable playing against, I suppose.
Possibly. Orianna is still a very potent champion in a lot of this, just because like you can force a lot of AOE and getting really good setup ultis along with the Alistar to be your package payload or your payload delivery system. Even Rivet could be a decent way to deliver that orb. So they want to make sure that they don't necessarily have as much of a wombo combo, but they are leaving up some pretty good picks like a Vladimir potentially if Snake wants to pick up that. I didn't necessarily check out what champions did this mid laner plays out specifically, but it's still going to be interesting to see if it's going to be more team oriented or if we're looking to just try to snowball individually in each lane.
Yeah, Imperial Knights White on their first rotation in the second, or on their first pick in the second rotation, are going to take away the Kindred in the jungle. So a little bit more carry oriented coming out from IKW's jungle.
Well, Cassiopeia is actually a pretty interesting hover at the very least. Not sure. Yeah, they are
It is
actually
going to
going
be
to be
locked
coming.
in.
Yeah,
All
locked in
right,
with the
so we
Cassiopeia.
have a very what is the brawly team comp available for Snake. They kind of like to get in there and just fight you. Cassiopeia likes to fight you. Riven likes to fight you. Tristana, Alistar are both have the capacity to jump in on you. Uh, gonna be pretty interesting. And now Snake picking up a jungler might need something that has a little bit more frontline capabilities, and Udyr will somewhat fit the bill. Has the can tank a lot of damage for your team, but it is a champion that after a certain point you can kind of run past almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I generally see Udyr as the idea is like, you built that chem tank, you get into there, and they really can't stop you from just running into your like important ADCs and stuff like that. Which Xin Zhao's going to be picked
Oh,
up. I
that's
think this actually
interesting.
parry difference is going to be playing the Xin Zhao mid lane. So
With
it's going,
Morgana support, is what the
yeah,
Kindred suggests to me. Yeah.
yeah, which is actually very interesting to see. Because one, Morgana not going to be in the jungle, and two, Xin Zhao mid lane is an interesting one. I think previously, uh, let's see. Sorry, just trying to get Agent E2 into this lobby. It says there's no password on here, so you can just go ahead and try to join.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. We got the lobby started really early, um, but because of that, it timed out. Whose lobby is it?
I
Okay,
sent
got it.
you the name, so just so I don't say
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
stream. But
That's a good idea.
yeah, but still
Um,
pretty nice draft coming out here. Says there is a password.
yeah, yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. Try this. Uh,
Game is
yeah, one
full.
sec.
Uh, all right. Somebody in Twitch chat has mentioned that this could be a Kindred mid. Perks has been playing it a lot.
Yeah, can you try? Now you should be able to try it.
There we go. Thank you, thank you.
All right, so we should be pretty much ready to go. We're going to have a little bit of longer spectator delay because of all this, but hey, we're going to be jumping right into these games, and we set aside a 3 hour block. Hopefully, we don't have to use the full 3 hours because getting a little bit break for A2 would be nice. But hey, however these games go, happens.
Yeah, so now that that's kind of taken care of, we're just sort of waiting for the teams to run through champion select and then sit through the 3 minute delay. What do you think of these team comps? And well, actually, do you want to give your predictions on who's going where in this game? Do you think it is going to be that Kindred mid that Twitch chat is mentioning?
It's possible Kindred into like the mid lane. It will be very interesting at the very least with like a Volibear support, right? Is that the thinking? And maybe still Morgana jungle and then Xin Zhao top lane. That like, it could really there's a lot of flex in this build, honestly. But I mean, actually going into the draft, I'm looking over slightly to my left to look at the clients, and they are lining up.
Cheater. All right, so we do know
All
now that
right.
it is going to be Captor playing the Kindred, presumably in the jungle with parry difference on the mid lane Xin Zhao. Somebody mentioned that Kindred into Cassiopeia does not sound very good. Uh, I could definitely see why that would be problematic. Um, it's difficult for you to really have a lot of power in that lane because your Q will be nullified for at least a short period by miasma.
Mhm. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I can kind of see it if Kindred is playing around Miasma at the very least. Like, if she tries to do it, engage with the Hail of Blaze and just do a quick 3 auto attacks trade with her E and then leaves, there's a potential that she can still, trade fairly well into it. But I don't think it will actually work out in that sort of favor. Especially unless it's someone like Parry Difference has played that one a lot. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the thing. Xinjiao is going to go in the mid lane. Morgana's still in the bottom lane. Volibear in the top lane. Kindred in the jungle. So
Yeah.
in any case,
So
it's still a good ping comp.
the only kind of like out of place thing is Xin Zhao mid, and even that's kind of up in the air because Xin Zhao, ever since he got reworked, I've been seeing him been playing mid, jungle, top lane, whatever, what have you. Uh, I think Xin Zhao is quite an interesting champion. Post rework, it's kind of like better Lee Sin, is what I
Mm-hmm.
think of it as. Like you
Yeah.
land your little pokey thingy from long range, and then you dash to him, and then kill him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. In some instances, it's also a little bit better than Lee said, just because your thrust, the W, does go through minions, so you can still
Yeah,
mark them.
not blocked by minions.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I feel though that because of the unless there's like some new stride breaker, more utility bruiser oriented Zinzao, I feel like the champion falls off really hard unless you're super ahead because it's a champion that goes Eclipse, but it's also melee and doesn't have a lot of mobility. Um, compared to a champion like Zed, for instance, who also will like to go Eclipse, but he has ways of getting both in and out. Zinzao has only one direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that reduces his options quite significantly.
Yeah, I could definitely see an argument on that, but I would be actually interested to see if he actually does opt in for like a Strikebreaker um or the Eclipse idea, because I mean, this is just from whatever I saw from yesterday's stream, so I am cheating a little bit. But he actually decided to build. It was a Noon Quiver. He actually went with IDC items and an Essence Weaver for his build, which was very interesting. I didn't see what runes he would take, but in this Cassiopeia matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if he opted in for either Press Attack or Phase Rush to go in for a quick one-sided trade where he hits him with W, hits him with his E, 3 procs with his Q, and then leaves immediately.
Well, yeah, I mean, but if you're landing that much damage, he should be able to just like go for kills or force flashes if he's able to do that much already. I think uh, his power to trade is quite good, his power to burst people after landing that is quite good. You get a lot of magic reduction or magic, jeez, armor reduction from the challenge. I think isn't that the case?
I think he gets, at the very least, he gets resistances whenever he's using his ult. Like, I'm pretty sure, right? He gets resistances towards his challenge. I'm just getting mixed up with like Poppy, how old school Poppy, where you ulted the support so that no one does damage to you other than the support did. Thanks to your, what was it, Demacian diplomacy or something like that, or nah, I can't remember what the ability was called. It was just so long ago. But in any case, Xin Zhao is still. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Parry Difference has plans to pick this one up as the Xin Zhao. It's definitely an oddball sort of pick, and maybe they're playing towards like a matchup that Cassiopeia, that this mid laner does not know at the very least, because I wouldn't, be really expecting this sort of thing, and maybe they're just going to be trying to abuse it just because maybe Paradifference has been secretly working on this Xin Zhao mid tech, and he already learned all the lane matchups and what he needs to do, so he has the lane matchup advantage on knowledge on that.
Yeah, it's like the secret Zinzao, but you last pick it, throw it into the mid lane, and we'll see how much impact it can have. There is a lot of power and CC between Udyr, Cassiopeia, and Riven and Alistair that could really mess up a Xin Zhao as soon as he goes in. And like we're mentioning, he doesn't have the option to jump back out. His only option really is to try and knock people away so that he can get his 1v1 meet. Let me get the 1v1 in peace, and maybe trade a couple kills before he goes down. Xin Zhao, I think, is one of the champions right now. I don't think he's like the worst offender, but it definitely feels like he survives a lot longer than any indicator would suggest because of the shield from Eclipse. He gets a lot of heals from his passive. It's really just annoying to play against, is what it feels like.
Yeah, definitely so. But hey, we're now in game here, so let's just go ahead and introduce these sides to them. They might have known them before, but let's go ahead and introduce these teams. You want to start off with the blue side?
Sure, it's on the blue side. It's Snake, the #1 seed from Diamond Capped, with Tendies 2 in the top lane on Udyr, XSI in the jungle on, or sorry, Tendies 2 in the top lane on Ribbon, XSI in the jungle on Udyr, Defiant Fervor in the mid lane on Cassiopeia, and in the bottom lane it's Paragon and Potato God on Tristana and Alistair.
While over for our red side, we have Imperial Knights White, Ninja Flinga in the top lane playing that Volley Bear, Capture in the jungle playing the Kindred, and then in the mid lane we got the most talked about thing we did during Champ Select, the Xin Zhao in the mid lane running Hail Blades, while in the bot lane we still got Vital and Predabear running that Zaya and Morgana.
Okay.
Yeah,
pretty interesting stuff going on here. Potato God has actually opted for Aftershock Alistair, whereas I think the trend has been for Phase Rush.
Really, Phase Rush. I actually was thinking Guardian might be a little bit more preferred because of the defensiveness, but I can definitely see Phase Rush to stick onto targets a lot more. And
yeah, I had always been an Aftershock person for Alistair, but somebody told me that, and like not just somebody I know, but also in professional play, a lot of Alistairs have been going Phase Rush to more reliably be able to run in, get the stun auto off after your combo. And somebody in GRLCS told me, hey, Phase Rush Alistair feels really good, but Potato God opting for the Aftershock, it's a little bit safer of the... It's a little bit safer because it gives you those extra resistances after you go in so that you can survive through a lot of the burst.
Yeah, it makes sense in the sense like you already have your ulti that gives you a lot of resistances, so you don't necessarily need the aftershock whenever you're going in and whatnot. So I can see Phase Rush a little bit more because of that, but you know, aftershock gives you a little bit of that earlier sort of survivability, I suppose, and you don't necessarily have to rely on your ulti. So I guess I'm a believer in it now, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how, you know, the more safer option of the Aftershock is going to go with Potatoes God.
Alright, things being pretty quiet this early on in this game. Both junglers have full cleared their red side and are now on their blue buff. The Udyr looks like is a little bit faster, having taken the wolves before going over to that blue buff. So, wow!
Ooh.
Okay, well, parry difference just shows us the power of mid lane Xin Zhao. Lands the abilities, jumps in with the Ignite, Defiant Fervor, didn't see it coming. Actually started Cloth Potion, and Potts picks up a second one in order to try and survive this lane.
Yeah, and now we're moving into just a little bit more. It's really interesting. He has a CS lead and a kill over them. So I'm really interested to see how parry difference is going to continue to pilot this.
It comes in with the bear slap. It's not going to be too much damage, just some Phoenix Dance procs onto the Volibear up there.
Yeah, a little bit of damage, so not too much to worry about here. And continue on with like discussing with the bot lane. We have, you know, more traditional. What we've been seeing a lot so far is the Hail Blades Tristana, just super strong in the meta, just because it gives you a lot of more early game power that Tristana doesn't, or it gives your combos a little bit quicker than it already is, just because you don't have to necessarily rely on your Q in order to get your full Braum procs.
Yeah, Ningaflinga going in for a trade onto Tendies 2, who turns back with his own shield. Ningaflinga actually taking a little bit of a bad trade there, but Grasp of the Undying as well as the heal, and a lot of minions though, but Tendies 2 flashes for the stun. Ningaflinga gets solo killed in the top lane.
And one thing I do want to know for the top lane, good kill over on attendees too, but he's actually opted in. We just saw with the flash TP and not going for his more aggressive TP and ignite sort of build. I guess in this matchup he figured he doesn't need to
Oh, here we
stop too
go,
much,
Potato
but
God. He's flashed in for the double knockup onto Vital. Vital taking a ton of damage there, but Paragon didn't have enough damage to finish him off. Now he has to rocket jump out of there. Summoner heal has been used by both of them. Flash for the Dark Binding, but Predator doesn't get it. He's doing not as much damage as he can, but now he's headbutted under tower! Potato God gets the kill on the Predator as Vital has to sit there and watch as his support goes down and die. Defiant Fervor getting jumped on by Parry Difference in the mid lane, and look at all that damage that he does. It just continues to trade in autos for as long as he can outside of turret range.
and he's doing a great job. So one over in the bot lane, a little bit of a misplay from Predator. He queued and then flashed, but had the timing a little bit off. So then his Q came from his original location, not his new location. So his Q was just following behind Predator instead of actually coming out in front and actually hitting Paragon there. So a little bit of misplay on that end. They weren't able to pick up that kill because of it. And then Potatoes got doing a great job of headbutting him under tower, knocking him up. Unfortunately, not able to give up the kill, but hey, we still got a kill ahead in bot lane. That's a little bit of a
both
assist.
junglers looking at this mid lane, but Predator is here as well. Parry Difference running in. The Dark Binding doesn't connect. There's the knockup on the XSI who has to flash away. Exhaust goes down onto Parry Difference as well as the Petrifying Gaze. Potato God looking for a way in, but all of his damage dealers are too low to come in.
Yeah, too low indeed. Really good job on Parry Difference for turning around there. He got exhausted as well after the ulti went out. So it was good reaction times in order to make sure that make sure he doesn't get stunned under the tower, made sure he got out of there. And then the exhaust was a little bit of overcommitment, thinking they were going to keep going in after that. So they were able to pick up the exhaust at least.
Yeah, Ningaflinga and Tendy continue to trade in on one another. Ningaflinga did end up losing out early on. We saw that solo kill come down, but I think he'll be okay in this lane. I don't think he's gonna get solo kill just like dove under a tower or anything like that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it will be a dive at the very least just yet. I mean, Tennies is going to be playing this lane a little safer. It is the finals, so he wants to make sure it's like whatever happens, he's going to be able to do it just fine. Not going to have to worry too much about it. And don't want to be putting himself behind whenever he's already at a pretty good stance. He's 20 CS ahead and has a kill, so Tendies wants to make sure he's going to be keeping up quite nicely. And the Dragons
actually just goes ahead and jumps in onto Defiant Fervor. The Petrifying Gaze not off cooldown, and Parry Difference will drop down his ultimate as well. The Mountain Drake will be secured by Imperial Knights White. Prio in the bottom lane as well as their jungler in the area. XSI is a little bit too late to the party. He's gonna look for a bear slap onto a Parry Difference, but instead he's just gonna help Defiant Fervor push this wave out. The risk of the potential dive is too great. Now Potato God is coming in, forcing two flashes away by Captor and Parry Difference. The combo would probably have meant that they get stunned by the bear, and then Defiant Fervor just got the Petrifying Gaze back up. It would have been a lot of damage.
Yeah, it would have been a lot. Maybe possibly a kill because the Petrifying Gaze is also up. So the Remnant Fervor would have gotten a lot in. But both going to be flashing away. Don't want to be giving a risk to that. They already have, right now the strongest member is Parry Difference with that one kill and a little bit of a CS lead, so they don't want to be giving that up for free. You want to make sure like they're still within arm's grasp of Snake in order to try to beat them out here, because it is a pretty close match because you have to be fighting off Tendies 2 alongside of just Paragon, who's going to be eventually just scaling into the game as the Tristana.
Yeah, XSI is actually a fair bit ahead in terms of EXP over Captor. I don't know where that came from because he is up, well, like a camp and a half right now in terms of clear speed, but he's been consistently a level up. Maybe that's just the breakpoints, but Captor did not have level 6 for that earlier fight, which is why he felt the need to flash away, I think, from when the Alistair came in.
Leaves. I didn't catch it myself, so I wouldn't exactly know. But in any case, still going to be wondering at how that would have happened in the very least. So, let's see. Dragon spawning up in about 3 more minutes. So not a lot of objectives could be going on around the map, especially with XSI who's doing the Herald right now. And doesn't seem like anyone's going to be contesting him at the very least because he's an Udyr. He does a lot of damage in the earlier parts of the game. And he is able to take down that Herald. So we might be looking for possibly a gank somewhat soon, trying to maybe get some good value out of this. Maybe taking a whole tower or just being happy with just a whole plating's worth of,
I
or a
think
kill's worth
Defiant
of
Fervor
plating.
is trying to bait him in. He does go in now, and here comes XSI at the great time. Exhaust goes down, but he knocks him away with the Crescent Sweep, but he's going to get headbutted back towards the team by Potato God. A beautiful roam by the Alistair, and Captor can't do anything to save him. He's going to have to kite back, gets the Black Shield from Predator on the roam up, but the first move goes to Potato God, and it rewarded for Snake.
Yeah, really nicely done. Bottom lane did rotate up mid because they know that XI has the Herald now. They don't want to let him take a first few turret platings or even take down a lot of his down mid lane. We want to make sure that it's not going to be going bad that badly. They are leaving now, but I don't think they have enough time in order to try to really go for a strong push in the mid lane. Maybe even just summon a Herald and be happy with the 2 platings. But in any case, we'll have to see.
All right, yeah, Rift Herald has been dropped into that mid lane. It is going to get a couple, a couple of plates there for the side of Snake. Give Defiant Fervor a chance to take a recall here. Predator going to come and clear out this control ward, and things are probably just going to go back to the slow pace we had earlier.
Yeah, nice slower pace of the game. It's going to be pretty nice. Just slow things down. We need to for Imperial Knights White. We need to slow down a little bit. Maybe try to figure out what we're doing, and maybe make sure that Snake doesn't get too far out ahead. Parry Difference is doing a good job on himself, but he is getting a lot of attention from bot lane and jungle. So since they know that's pretty much who they need to worry about at this point in the game, we're going to go into the earlier part. Early, like, early, what's the mid game. We're going into the mid game where parry difference is really going to start shining with that Xin Zhao. His damage is going to be pretty huge whenever he has 1 to 2 items, and whenever that does happen, you gotta watch out for a lot of things. The more we put him behind, the less we don't have to worry about him going out to patrol.
Tendy Stew is playing this really nicely. I like how he diverts his direction back towards the enemy tower just in order to get an easier dodge on the thunder from the Volibear. It's really important that you don't get hit by that one because that's a lot of his damage. I think that the Riven is definitely where Imperial Knights White's biggest point of concern is. 40-something CS up right now, and is going to be a real force to if these top laners join in on any skirmishes or big team fights in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, it is something you have to be wary about. Dragon is going to be taken up by Imperial Knights White, so they can look towards that at the very least as a benefit for them. They'll have more dragons, so that it's easier for them to get to a good soul, but unfortunately it's only going to be Cloud Soul. You're going to love it for the ultimate cooldowns, but going a little bit faster with your ultis is not too great. Vital, Predator, and I think Parry Difference will all like it, but for like Capture and Ninja Flinga, it's going to be like something that's nice, but would prefer other drakes.
Yeah, the other 3 elemental souls give you a lot more combat power, and their effectiveness is kind of just dependent on team comp. But Cloud Soul, even if your champions are like the best Cloud Soul abusers, where you get like a lot of benefit from moving faster after you ultimate, it's just not as much combat effectiveness. It's more accessibility and utility. So it's not as impactful, and teams that get the first 2 dragons really don't like to see the Cloud Soul be the one that pops up. Parry Difference really wants to go in aggressive on the Defiant Fervor, but XSI is just sort of sitting there waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, playing a little bit more safely. I mean, he doesn't have a ward over on that side, so he could have like sniffed it out a little bit. That Defiant Fervor is trying to be baiting parry difference just like a little bit, and he knows that like he's going to be the point in the mid game that they're going to be really focused in on. For Imperial Knights White, we are at the point where turret planes are fallen. Everyone is still not necessarily at the point where Tendies is with his first item, but he's slowly getting. Right, everyone is slowly getting there into this mid game.
Yeah, Ninja Flinga trading in with Tendies 2, but here comes Captor to try and turn the table here. Tendies 2 is going very low. He's actually going to get the shield off. A parry difference from the side will come up as well and just throw his spear into him. Defiant Fervor is going to have his push stayed by Predabear long enough for Parry Difference to come back and pick up the wave.
Yeah, good roam from Predator. Even though you didn't get anything out of it, you did make sure that parry difference didn't lose as much from moving up top lane and picking up that kill over attendees is also another nice one. Like I said, he is going to be this mid game sort of power spike for his team that they're going to be kind of relying on in order to try to make some of these plays. They have a lot of pick, not a lot of team fight sort of power in this team comp. They do have good team fighting powers, but in this mid game, I think we're going to be focusing more if we can find some people who are led astray and try
Uh-oh,
to
Parry
help them
Difference
out.
gonna get jumped on. He's gonna go actually in on the Defiant Fervor. There's the exhaust as well onto him. XSI is over on the side, but he doesn't do a ton of damage. He's gone for the Chem Tank Putrefier. Defiant Fervor went really low there. The exhaust and the ultimate used to keep himself alive. Capture was there for some moral support as Parry Difference effectively is able to walk out of there afterwards.
Yeah, definitely is able to just come out almost unscathed at the very least. He is low on mana, so I don't think they will be going in for an engage because his E just costs too much mana in order to try to go for something. And Tendy's even in the mid lane here, so they really want to try and make something happen, but everyone's just recalling, just wasting some people's time now.
Yeah, it looks like I think Parry Difference will pick up the Essence Reaver on this recall. Yeah, there it is. So kind of like what you were talking about, going for more of these ADC items. Probably might go for the Immortal Shield Bow as his item of choice, or his
Yeah,
key mythic item of choice.
yeah, I wouldn't blame him. The shield boat would be good just for a lot of sustain. We did pick up 3 longswords, that kind of solidifies it. The other ADC items doesn't have 3 longswords, only 2. I would actually be interested to see how well Gale Force does into him, just so you get a little bit extra movement speed to stick onto your targets. But in any case, Immortal Shield Bow is still a very nice item. Gives you extra AD, gives you extra health, because the mythic passive gives you health and a little bit of AD. Very nice to have on these more so if you opting in for like a bruiser building ADC items, it's still pretty nice.
Yeah, the shield is also like shield bow is kind of the item that you want if your champion already heals a ton. Uh, because the shield allows you to survive a little bit longer, so you can get more rotations off and heal more from your natural ability to heal. Parry Difference gonna jump in on Defiant Fervor, gets the knock up here, and here's Capture as well, dodging away from the Petrifying Gaze really nicely, but a Parry Difference here. XSI runs in, he's like, okay, there goes my snake, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and like I said, we're in the mid game here. Parry Difference picked up his first item, and he's getting strong. He's slowly snowballing to a point. Has to still watch out though.
Yeah, Parry Difference gets jumped on by XSI, but the teleport coming in immediately from Ninga Flinga, as well as the entire cavalry of IKW in the mid lane here to cancel that attempted play out by Tendies 2 and XSI.
Yeah, and it is just going to be a disengage, so no further charge from that. That's why with the second Shelly is just going to try to maybe finish off this first tower. Yeah, there we go. So nice gold in their pockets to spread out a little bit more of their lead, but this first Cloud Drake does seem to be the Imperial Knights Wise, which means the following ones you might want to fight for a little bit, just because even though Cloud Soul isn't the greatest of buff, it's still something you need to be wary of. Just because you don't want them to have the extra CDR from your ultis, or, Vital getting extra movement speed whenever he uses his ulti, so he can run away faster whenever he's using that, is going to be something to keep of note as well.
Yeah, the third dragon going the way of Imperial Knights White. Tendies 2 is gonna counter jungle a little bit. He doesn't feel all that threatened by Ninga Flinga because of how much mobility he has in that Riven. We'll just steal away the Krugs, jump over the wall, head back towards his lane. 3 dragons for Imperial Knights White. Really dangerous to let them get this far, but I guess again we're talking about it earlier that Cloud Soul not as meaningful, so maybe this is an intentional choice by Snake. They're like, we don't really care about these dragons, let's not fight for them, let's try and get advantages elsewhere. They are up about 1.7 thousand gold, with first tower going down in the mid lane and this huge CS discrepancy in the top lane.
Yeah, which is where all this lead is really coming in from. There is a little bit of CS discrepancy in the bot lane, and that's helping out in order to make sure it is actually this about almost 2... Yeah, it is exactly 2k gold lead for the side of Snake. So, scaling-wise, they're doing pretty well, but right now it's still in the like, I would still say it's a little bit in the favor for Imperial Knights White just because parry difference is going to be that huge mid-game threat, and he's playing it very well. He's not letting himself die because he knows he's going to be the one that's essentially carrying his team into the late game part, where then everyone else is just going to be picking it up. Because you have two ADCs, you have Kindred plus Xayah, a lot of damage from them, Predator with the picks, and great ultis whenever she does have her Zonius, which she is building right now. And then Ninja Flinger is there just for some of this catch-out potential with his Q. He's not going to be the huge Volibear threat that he normally is, just because Volibear doesn't scale into the late game as well. But he's still going to be important for this team for
XIV gonna come in, bear slap onto parry difference, and he's actually just gonna turn around and jump onto Paragon. Meanwhile, Vital has to use the ultimate to dodge away from the combo from Potato God. Captor is now in trouble. He's gonna throw down the lanes for Smite and try and live. Fails to flash over the wall. Meanwhile, parry difference with the 1v2 in the bottom lane throws another strike onto the Udyr as he turns back around, backs away, doesn't want to go for the 2v1 dive, but Captor ends up going down off of a good flank from Potato God.
Yeah, it is following up on that. Capture falling down to that is pretty unfortunate because, like I said, in this mid game, you're only having one person to really rely on and that's parry difference. He's doing a good job at keeping up hit and making sure that he doesn't die, but his team also needs to make sure that they don't fall behind because, I mean, over for the side of Snake, they have a really good mid-game comp. They have Tendies, they have Etisai, and they also have Tristana. Three pretty good mid-game champions, and then late game they have Cassiopeia and Tristana, which then it turns into a little bit more of a skill sort of based matchup of like, can I dodge away from the Petrifying Gaze and not let myself get caught out, or will I be able to get away from Predator's ultis and not be just stunned on the tower or get picked off as easily?
Okay, coming back into this one, Vital has opted for the Gale Force, which, to be honest, I'm not sure how I feel about Gale Force in this particular game. I guess it's useful to try and put distance between you and the Riven and the Udyr. It just kind of feels bad not to have Kraken Slayer when the enemy support is Alistar, I think. The Kraken Slayer allows you to just like hit the Alistar, and still be useful in a team fight. You can actually kill that champion while you're fighting front to back. But maybe that's not what they're trying to do on the side of Imperial Knights White.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, you could honestly just try to ignore the Potatoes God. He has a lot of CC, it makes it hard to ignore, but if you can play around him, make sure that he doesn't actually get in precarious situations where he's able to CC both ADCs, sometimes you don't necessarily need that. And Capture also having a Kraken Slayer in any case makes it so like we do have someone to deal with the tank. It's a little hit or miss, honestly. I do see your point on the Kraken Slayer for Xayah. On like if we just have two Kraken Slayer champions, it's just a lot of damage coming out. But Gale Force, I'm still not. I like that option better than the Immortal Shield build at the very least, just because the extra mobility in order to dodge away from some more.
Here we go. XSI Flash the Bear slaps onto Capture, but Potato God was not in range for the combo to follow up. Dark Binding is going to be canceled out by the ultimate. Now his Soul Shackles throws him down to dodge away from the Wind Slash, but Predator is just going to instantly get popped off onto them. Meanwhile, looks like they got a kill onto Paragon. The ultimate comes out from the Xayah and gets a good root off. Exisai now is in trouble. Vital picks him up. There's the Volibear ultimate jumping in onto Defiant Fervor. They have the Petrifying Gaze still available if they need to. Tendies 2 is now going to get stunned up. They're trying to dodge away. It's a 2v4 situation, and this is the Cloud Soul. Parry difference jumps in. Petrifying Gaze stuns up 2. Looking for the Thunder coming down, gets the shield. Ningaflinga throws down some damage. 32 flashes in! Capture gets the Lambs right down just in time. Ningaflinga is able to run back in. Defiant Fervor goes down. His parry difference is going to be able to take him out with the help of the Immortal Shield Bow Shield. Tendies 2 the last one alive, but this will be the Cloud Soul going over the way of Imperial Knights White.
Yeah, not much that Tendies 2 can do, even though he's such a strong player on this Riven as well. It's going to be really precarious in situations. He's even going back for a 1v2.
Yeah, he's got to dodge away from this one. Ningaflinga, he's going to get slowed, he's going to get stunned, he's going to get taken down. A delayed ace for Imperial Knights White.
And that's a lot of gold that just swung over in their favor. That was 2 kills coming over to parry difference, 2 kills for Ningaflinga, and then 1 kill for Vital. All pretty good champions that you want your kills on. Capture would have loved to see in a couple of it, but hey, Ningaflinga getting a couple more stats means that he's just going to be more of a frontline threat on top of parry difference. he's not going to do the same amount of damage. But hey, if you're accidentally just going to click on the Volibear instead of clicking onto parry difference, that makes a pretty big difference in a lot of these team fights. And if he can get to that super tanky point where he's super annoying by getting your ADC just literally running down your ADC, it's still going to be pretty good.
XSI taking out a control ward, dodging away from the dark binding out off the side. It is actually still only a 800 gold difference between these two teams. A lot of that gold difference is, or a lot of the gold is being made up between. Actually, no, it's very close. Basically, that entire gold difference is on Tendies 2. So just marginal gold differences elsewhere. Parry difference having a 2,000 gold lead over Defiant Fervor right now.
Let's see. We are positioned around this top side of the map with the top laners in the bot lane, so we're all positioned around just if they wanted to go for like a Hail Mary Baron play, it's available for being able to react to it. There's no other objectives to go after for, and Ninja Blink actually look at that. He's actually keeping up his own against Tendies 2 in some of these fights now.
Yeah, he actually finally has his mythic, and he's had the Bramble Vest this entire time, and he's actually just winning, but it doesn't matter because Vital is here to turn the tides. He actually has to use the ultimate. That's a pretty big ultimate not to have.
Yeah, it's pretty big ultimate not to have indeed. Use that to take down Tendies, but at the same time, Tendies is a lot of this mid game as well. Over for the side of Snake, we are going to be, it is something to be wary about. You're not going to have that sort of protection, but the only thing you're really going to be trying to dodge away from at this point is like Potato's got an XSI in order to dive right in. So it's going to be curious to see how, if he really necessarily needs it, if he just has a good enough peel, or if parry difference is just way more of a threat to deal with right now. Baron is going to be taken by Imperial Knights White, so they are going to be in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, a lot of just look at how much vision was up and down the air in the Baron area. 4 control wards for Imperial Knights White just lining that river. 2 of them in the Baron pit, so a little bit of lost effectiveness, but whatever. You got the Baron, you're pretty happy with that. Now it's 3,000 gold for Imperial Knights White, ready to push in onto Snake and start choking him out.
Yeah, and I mean, being able to choke him out is going to be pretty good. They have, like I said, really good late game over for the side of Imperial Knights White, and if they can reach that late game before Snake really reaches a good mid game point, it's going to be quite impactful. I mean, Zaya's almost had her 3 item power spike parry difference. Assuming that he's going with the ADC route, he's about to hit a 3 item power spike as well, and then everyone else is taking a little bit of a leisure route, but still.
Just out of curiosity, what's your in-game time at?
I am 27, 35, 36, 37.
I'm a little bit behind here.
Alright, well, going into that, we're in the middle of a team fight. Catcher was caught out alongside a Predator, so I'm just going to be going on with this while you're trying to catch up here. Vital now in a 1v1 versus Paragon. Paragon's getting on the rocket jump to get out of there. 4 people from Snake are running it back in a retreat down towards their base in the top lane, while XSI is going to be just looking to see if he can pick up any stragglers, but no stragglers are to be had just yet. That's going to be the end of that fight. Nothing really burned here other than like a couple ultis here and there.
Yeah, what are you at right now?
28, 11, 12, 13,
okay,
14.
Cool, perfect. We're lined up.
Nice. So, yeah, nothing, like I said, nothing really done just yet here. We have a minute and 20 seconds until the Elder Drake spawns up here. I imagine everyone's just going to be trying to get a couple more gold before they take their resets, or even just take their resets now. The sweet spot is generally around 40 seconds, but you can always do it a little earlier so you can get to on-site earlier. Make sure you get wards down so you can sneak it and make sure that no one knows where you guys are coming in from, and you know exactly where they're coming in from.
I really love that 3 members of Imperial Knights White look to be building towards that Lord Dominique's regards. 2 of them finished, and then 1 coming on the way from capture. I think that item's so good. Now, Potato God forced to flash away as parry defense goes in for the dash. The miasma has been thrown down, but the Black Shield is going to consume most of it. This Elder Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds is a big point of contention for these two teams. Potato God has to back and come back, but he has no ultimate for this next fight. Red buff going to be stolen away. Tendies to watches on in sadness.
Yeah, sad indeed. No red buff, so not going to have that little bump of stats. Dragon is spawning up here now. 15 seconds. Vital's a little bit of out position. He's a little separate from his team, but hey,
Yeah, here we go.
hey, we're
Ninga
looking for
Flingo
Vital.
has popped the Chemtank Future Fire, goes for the stun in onto the Cassiopeia. Potato God boots out parry difference as the Stormbreaker comes down. Petrifying Gaze stuns up too, but there's the ultimate coming out from Vital. He's going to dodge away from a lot of damage. Parry difference goes unstoppable. He takes out the ADC. Tendy's in the back line, has taken down Capture without the laser spite, but he will get focused down. A triple kill goes over to parry difference, and that's going to be the ace for Imperial Knights White.
Yeah, triple kill for Parry Difference, who is this monster of a mid-game champion, while Vital is still able to actually peel or kite away from Tendy's 2 as well. Unable to get on Tendy's 2, not able to get on top of Vital. It looks like it's going to spell the end of it, because my game just froze, which means we just saw a surrender.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's what happened.
yeah.
All right, so that is going to be game one going the way of Imperial Knights White. We're going to take a short break before we get into game number two, just to get us back into the lobby. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you all in just a few minutes.
See ya.
Internet, hello and welcome back to our stream of the Diamond Cap Finals of GRLCS Season 14. We're about to get into game number two, which is going to be between Snake and Imperial Knights White. They just started Champion Select. I'm Alex H22, joined by Austin Rexco Dragon Win. Imperial Knights White had side selection in this game, and they opted to stay on the red side.
Very interesting indeed. Often than not, in for the first pick, I guess they want to have more of the, being a little bit of sneaking with their picks, because being there's advantages with going second or being on the red side in the fact that you are able to, look for counter picks instead. You don't get to pick what you want, but if you are able to just try to counter pick tendies a bunch, maybe that's more so the play that you're looking for, or something that's really good at reacting to what they have.
Yeah, Snake is going to go ahead and ban away the Xin Zhao. That parry difference had a huge impact on him in game number 1. Imperial Knights White, on the other hand, are going to keep their bans the same. Uh, Without the Lilia ban, it might be something that Imperial Knights White want to pick up here, and there it is. Morgana was the first pick for Snake, and Morgana, I think, in the past has been considered a counter to Lilia now that she is a jungler. So interesting that Imperial Knights White opt to pick the Lilia into it, but maybe just something that's really comfortable for their jungler.
Yeah, perhaps, perhaps. I mean, it's a pretty good uh, I pick up just because you're able to counter the sleep just by putting a black shield on someone. On top of that, you're able to if you're able to land your Q, you can lock her down very well. She can dodge it obviously, but if you can go for a point blank Q and then follow that with your ulti, she's stuck in one place where she's not able to kite as well as she is normally. But it's still interesting to see a little bit of pickup because you can only black shield one person, and as long as you dodge that first Q, she's not going to land that ulti on you either.
Yeah, Zaya gonna be the option for Imperial Knights White. Snake actually gonna pick up the Jin in the bottom lane as an answer. Uh, let's see what their last pick in this rotation is going to be.
Yeah, gonna be interesting to see that. I mean, has been a pretty good champion. He hasn't he kind of fell just a little bit just because some other ADCs that are using Hail Blades have been more prevalent. But Jin, nonetheless, is still a very good ADC. Fortunately, his days of old with the old Hail Blades, how it used to give you a bunch of extra attack speed for your fourth shot. Unfortunately, not going to be working like that anymore. But in any case, Camille and Volibear are going to be picked up by Imperial Knights White and Snake. Snake, I'm assuming that's Camille's top lane. And I was talking about this previously whenever Snake was playing My Little PogChamp. Tennis 2 has been known to actually play a little bit of Camille, and I was surprised he didn't play it at all during that series. So seeing it here is going to be a nice refresher.
Yeah, with the Irelia denied to him, he's always been kind of those like outplay style 1v1 champions, Irelia, Camille, Riven. The Irelia's been banned both of these games. He tried the Riven last game, it didn't work out for him. He's gonna go for the Camille. I think Camille is a little bit more reliable of a champion than Riven. Of course, Riven has games where she can pop off, whereas Camille kind of can pop off, but not. But like when they pop off, Riven is generally better. But Camille a little bit more consistent, I think. They're gonna ban away the Renekton on the side of Snake. I'm
Assuming
not sure.
it's a parry difference champion, I believe. He played a lot
Oh,
of Renekton top lane, so I assume it's just going to translate mid lane.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Orianna gonna be the ban away by Imperial, and that's why IKW looks like they really feel, hey, we did everything right last game. Why change what isn't broken? The last ban is gonna be the Nautilus. Um,
Yeah.
Whereas, what did they ban last time after the Orianna?
After the last time, it was Ivern and then
Ivern.
Orianna. Yeah.
Right. With Morgana already locked in, no need to ban another jungler unless there's a really sneaky flex into the bottom lane for Snake. They're gonna pick up Karma, which again could be into either mid or support for IKW.
Yeah.
I want to say it's gonna be support, but could be either.
Yeah. Karma is a good pickup just because she doesn't have a lot of. Her only CC is the W's, and that's the only thing that Morgana Block Shield is looking to really block. But because of all this AP damage, she can try to just break the Black Shield immediately, go into. And then Zaya can do a lot of damage if it's Morgana support. If it's Seraphine support, it's absolutely a different story. But hey, we'll have to see because Jax instead is actually going to be picked up here. I'm imagining that's for mid. No, Jax top lane, Camille mid lane. Maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's gonna be Jax Morgana support.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it could be Jax
Because if the
jungle.
Seraphine gets locked in, I think it's almost certainly going to be Seraphine in the mid lane. I think Seraphine mid lane is way better than Seraphine support. It's just a better use of the. And it is going to be locked in, so my prediction is obviously Seraphine mid, Jax jungle, Morgana support. The Morgana early picks have been for both of these teams, and then flexing it into the support role have been the trend for this series. Looking for the last lock in for Imperial Knights White. It's gonna be Viego.
Ooh. I'm assuming this is going to be Viego mid lane played by Parry Difference. Since he,
Yeah, I would
yeah.
imagine the same.
Mhm.
Fairly not like similar a lot to Xin Zhao, but they're both kind of like these melee auto attack oriented champions that just kind of jump on you and just auto you to death. So kind of fits in with the Xin Zhao playstyle for IKW's mid laner.
And then I just want to point this out because I think it's a little funny. Ziggy Wiggy in the chat saying Perry played Zin mid. He would never play a respectable champion like Karma, and then he locks in Viego. Because I honestly think Viego has a little bit too much damage with his ulti. It's like a 50% or plus for his ulti on missing health execution damage, and that's a lot of damage that comes out. So I I'm gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see because Viego is actually like a pretty good pop off champion. He because if he's ever behind, you can always if you can manage to get some damage on an enemy champion, get that assist and steal their soul. You get their items, get their abilities. You don't get their ulti unfortunately, but there's not that many honestly great ultis from the side of Snake. You have Morgana ulti that's kind of cool. Jin ulti's kind of cool. Seraphine's ulti's big, and then Killmonger ulti's 1v1s. But Viego doesn't necessarily need all that. I mean, you'll love the damage from Jin, you'll love the CC from Morgana, and then you just transition into your ultis. So I like the Viego pickup here just because he can pop off pretty well. He's like the it's like the opposite thought process when you play Sylas. You play Sylas because they have great ultis, but you play Viego when they don't have great ultis.
Yeah. Looks like we have a little bit of a delay on getting Champion Select started itself, but which of these teams would you just rather be playing for, just like based on champion picks?
On champion picks, I want to say Snake has a pretty good team comp because I'm a little bit more inclined on the Seraphine just because of how useful she is into the game. And they also have a good benefit of having two split pushers on the team. Camille and Jats do amazing jobs at that, so you don't have to rely on just team fight power. Well, because of that, you're also lacking in quite a bit of team fighting power. The most AoE that you're really going to be getting is like Seraphine ultis into E's, and then Morgana's ultis. A lot of Snake's team comp relies on 1v1s, split pushing, and getting picks. So because of that, I think Imperial Knights White might have a little bit of a better comp, as all because of the flexibility it has a little bit more.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. I think Seraphine is just such an insane champion that I feel biased towards it, but if I think, I'm not a huge, like, what am I trying to say? I think both of these teams have a lot of power, but they're not like what I would consider this just sheer team fighting power. I don't think Karma is that high of a priority support, so I'm surprised that Imperial Knights White have opted for it when a lot of other options were available. But I guess something that's practiced and something that they have made work with their team in the past, so probably something that their team as a whole is comfortable with. I don't know. I'm the karma really throws a wrench. Really, just makes me kind of uncomfortable gauging the strength of Imperial Knights White as a team. Imperial Knights White's team comp. Viego in the mid lane is a lot of single target power as well. They don't have a ton of AOE like you're talking about. I think Seraphine is going to be really valuable on the side of Snake.
All fair assessments. I mean, I might just be biased because I played with Vigo's damage a lot in ARAM, and his ulti just like if we're ever doing bad, you just start popping ultis and then killing people, and then you start winning the game for no reason because people just can't play around it. But this is Diamond, so in terms of mechanical prowess, we do need to not really worry about it too much because people ideally know how to play around these champions a little bit better. Like Viego, if you can lock him, he's like the same problem with Master Yi. As long as you lock him down and he doesn't even have the survivability that Master Yi has, you lock him down, he can pretty much kill pretty easily. But laning phase is going to be interesting because we already have everyone's locked in, and we do see now it's Jats top lane, Morgana jungle, and then Camille mid lane with Seraphine support. Still pretty good team comp overall because the Camille into Viego is going to be pretty interesting. Both of them have some pretty good engages to get on top of each other, and honestly, Not a lot of one-sided trading, but still a lot of damage from either side, and it really matters if they can really maybe play around the other ones for their type of CC and getting this free damage off.
Yeah, so what did we thought it was gonna be Camille top, Jax jungle, Seraphine mid, Morgana support. It ends up being Jax top, Morgana jungle, Camille mid, Seraphine support. That's very they just like made it so that we were wrong on all fronts. The only thing we got right is that it was gonna be Jin bot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very flexible team that Snake drafted, and they decided Camille might be better in fighting Viego. Jats, it presents an interesting idea in order to try Viego, but I don't think he necessarily has all the prowess that can actually go against him. I think we saw Tendy's two Jats before in in the Model Pogchamps game. Um, but it was actually pretty weak, honestly. And not to bash on the player, just saying that the Jets was a little
Just the
bit
weak
on the weaker side.
performance. Weak
Yeah,
performance.
performance wise, it was a little bit on the weaker side. It was really a lot of carry coming out from their mid laner. If he, that's a completely different mid laner than it is now that played the Vigor for the late game assurance. So it's going to be interesting to see attendees to practice a little bit more with this Jax.
Yeah, I also think that Jax mid is probably not where the champion wants to be. Jax would much rather kind of isolate himself in the top lane and be able to split push, force the enemy top laner to fight him in extended trades, which is where Jax really likes to shine. Um, and so yeah, I understand not sending the Jax in the mid lane. I'm very interested in I don't know. It's like you said, it's a flexible team comp, but for us to get all four of those roles wrong is just astonishing to me.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
I mean, I did notice whenever the Jets was picked up, I think I mentioned Camille could be going mid, and then Jets jungle, and then Morgana, or something like that. I forgot exactly, but there's a lot of iterations that you could do with this team comp where Seraphine go mid, even Morgana could technically go mid in this team comp too. So there was a lot of ways to go. 3 out of the 4 play jungle, 3 out of the 3 out of 5 played jungle, 3 out of the 5 played mid lane. Honestly, four if you want to count Jin in the mid lane, but really it's 3 out of the 5. And then honestly, you could actually send up like Morgana top lane too, technically. So that's like 3 out of the 5 that go top lane. So it was very flexible on where those 3 were going, even Seraphine technically, I guess.
So main concern I think is that IKW at least is that their only real form of engage is to just throw out bowling balls from Lilia and wait until one sticks so that you can, knock them all down with the ultimate. Uh, it's not super reliable and it's very telegraphed. So Morgana will be able to black shield the priority target, no matter who it is, before they all get put to sleep. I'm a little bit concerned for IKW in that regard. On the other side, Snake also doesn't have great engage. It's mostly just Camille jumping in, scattering the team, maybe an encore to follow up. Uh, we'll see how it goes. But in this game, it's game number 2 with Snake on the blue side, with Tendy's 2 in the top lane on Jax, XSI in the jungle on Morgana. In the mid lane, it's Defiant Fervor on Camille, and in the bottom lane, it's Paragon and Potato God on Jin and Seraphine.
While over to the side of Imperial Knights White, we have Ninja Flinga in the top lane playing the Volibear. Captured now this time playing the Lily in the jungle, parry difference in the mid lane, opting in for the Viego. And in the bot lane, we're seeing Vital and Predabear running the Zaya and Karma. I think Zaya is the same thing, but Predabear playing the Karma is a different pick.
Yeah. Uh, so parry difference in game number 1 on the Xin Zhao was the Ignite Taker up against Defiant Fervor with the Exhaust on the Cassiopeia. This game, it's Defiant Fervor who is looking for kill pressure with the Ignite in the mid lane. Parry difference opting for the teleport in order to try and make some plays around the map. Maybe just also a split push option for the teleport.
I do like the Viego pickup because of the split push option, since Snake has 2 split pushers on their side. Not too much of team fighting sort of thing. Like they do have really good engage with either Tendies or Devon Favor in getting in. Well, compared to Imperial Knights Whites, like you were talking about, their engage sort of thing. Capture could always maybe burn a flash, but that's not always a reliable thing in order to try to get a good engage off if we wanted to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game actually plays out because we did opt in for a lot of flexible picks, but maybe not too optimal. We'll just have to see how that really goes out here.
Tendies 2 is getting really good trades off with the Counter-Strike onto Ninga Flinga. Just getting a lot of free damage onto him as he's starting to burn through those potions now. Defiant Fervor now getting a good trade onto Parry Difference. The Parry Difference is going to jump back in onto them. Ninga Flinga down a level as level 2 has been hit by Tendies 2 first. So a huge trade win for him, and Ninga Flinga is not going to have a lot of control in this lane early on.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Jets does play into the Volibear matchup pretty well here, which is good. I mean, Tendi's definitely taking advantage of this situation a lot better than he was before on whenever we saw him last play Jax. So it is going to be good to see maybe pull out a little bit of his A game here and might be that carry that we need. Split pushing definitely a
Ooh.
lot more.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for Jax is he's not as adept compared to Riven at dodging away from that thunder coming down from the Volibear. Ninga Flinga not having to burn flash, but is going to have to recall here, just chunked so very low by Tendies 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually going to be opting in for the TP. I would, just because you don't want to get too far below. Yeah, he is going to be opting in. Another option was capture to catch the wave for you, but here comes.
Nice dodge on the slow there, but Tendies 2 is almost certainly going to be dying here. He's going to get taken down. First blood goes over to the Volibear.
Volibear picking up first blood here is going to be a good one for them. You don't want Tendies to get out of control, like I said before, so keeping an early check on him is going to be nice since Capture did opt in for a full clear. And able to do a
He's
nice
also going to teleport back. He teleported back into the try. He's actually looking for Capture right now.
Parry Difference has cleared out most of the waves, so he is able to rotate pretty soon, but so is Divine Forever, but that looks like the end of that engage as well, so nothing too much gained from that other than Tendies is now back in the top lane, and used his TP, so he's not going to be having that in times, but go down roughly the same with Ninja Flinga, so he'll know whatever Ninjas is going to be available at the very least.
Alright, yeah, here's the Counter-Strike. He jumps in back onto Ninga Flinga, but Capture was still here. Dodging away from the slow once again, but he's going to get stunned up, take a lot of damage. He does still have his flash, and he is going to go down once again. Ninga Flinga holding his ground, doesn't burn his flash either, and it's going to be another kill into the top laner. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Paragon flashes away as the double root comes down from Potato God. We're going to turn around some damage back onto Predator, who missed the Mantra Q. So, Ignite from Predator burn for 3 summoners on the side of Snake's bottom lane. Potato God gonna get rooted in place. Now Defiant Fervor goes in for the jump onto Parry Difference. XSI is going in for a gank here. Looking for the Dark Binding. Has to give him the Black Shield, but he's gonna flash for the auto! Gets binded under tower, but it's gonna be a 1-for-1 on the gank. Nicely played by Parry Difference.
Yeah, it was almost really nicely done. I like the Ignite from Devon Favor made it so that Parry Difference didn't heal as much, and the binding from it also made it so he was stuck under tower, taking tower shots, and they changed it so that you do still take tower shots while you're consuming those souls, so you can't just do tower dives as easily anymore as Viego. You even take 1 extra before the aggro turns off of you, I believe. They made some change about that. They said in the notes, I didn't understand it necessarily. I just assumed, like, he just takes tower shots whenever he's doing that now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but Viego... Hold on a second, Tendies 2 gonna jump in under... Nah, it's not gonna be anything. But Viego, I don't think, ever went untargetable when he was absorbing bodies. Tendies 2 is just gonna get 1v1 basically, but Capture's gonna make sure that this kill happens. Counter-Strike gonna come out. He's gonna try and turn around some damage onto him. Almost enough. Ninga Flinga has to flash to finish him off to save his jungler. But nonetheless, it is a 3rd kill onto the top laner of Snake. Tendies 2 is just not paying any respect to Capture in this top lane.
Yeah, and it is a little bit of an unfortunate thing. I mean, it's still Jax, so whenever he does start popping off, he will be in the side lane, farming it up, and you try to send 1 person, it's not going to be enough. And, I mean, right now, it's kind of the same story, just because Ninja Flinga versus Tendies 2, it's... Well, at this point, I would say Ninja Flinga definitely has the advantage, but previously, you know, trading out-wise, he was doing really good. So, hopefully it he'll get back into the point where Tendies 2 is able to just be in the solo lane by himself and pulls away some attention.
Defiant Fervor jumps in. There's the Hextech Ultimatum thrown down on the parry difference. The XSI wants to land this Dark Binding, blocked by the minion!
Ooh. Looks like parry difference is able to get out of there. Capture does land his E, but I mean, nothing coming out of it just yet. Nice ulti from parry difference as well in order to get that a little bit extra mobility in order to get on out of there. Nicely done. And minion block, definitely huge one on that fact. Pretty sure he was dead there because XIV does have ulti available as well. So that would have been double CC down on him.
Yeah, I think Defiant Fervor and XSI are just not on the same page. Capture flashes for the double sleep! He's gonna flash over the wall, but he's fallen asleep, and Capture's just gonna be able to walk in and take him out. XSI just used his flash. There's the Deadly Flourish gonna root up Capture, as Paragon gonna back away. Good double root comes out, and he's very low! Defiant Fervor can't go in, he's too low already! And so Capture will just be able to pick off the enemy jungler and back out.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily like a misplay, because it's just like you don't have the future sight to see it, but Paragon saw, was thinking it's like if Capture gets hit by the double E, possibly if I kept walking towards him, then that would have been a kill from him. He had 4th shot available, Capture was very, very low. So I think the execution damage would have taken up, or at least a follow Q alongside of that. But, you know, it doesn't have the future sight in order to necessarily, or the insights to necessarily see that, like, if Potato Gods hits the E, I'm able to pick up a kill here.
Yeah, parry difference now just shoving in onto Defiant Fervor, who's already at half HP. Parry difference has a lot of pressure on this dive, but is not going to go for it here. They did pick up the Infernal Dragon on the side of Imperial Knights White as XSI clearing out his blue buff and his Gromp. It is about 2,000 gold in favor of Imperial Knights White, a lot of that having to do in the top lane. Stenny just going to continue to take these short trades with Ninga Flinga. Predabear just walking in here, Monster Q going to be thrown out onto Defiant Fervor, help parry difference, secure a couple of these plates for himself.
Just going to make sure that they're able to really punish down Defiant Fervor, who seems to be a little bit, not to insult to hit the player, just a little bit of a weaker link since you had to go against parry difference, a very strong, just mechanically good player.
Yeah, I'm very scared every time Defiant Fervor goes for these hook shots. He hasn't really had the best of timing on hook shotting, and sometimes he's just going straight up missed them, and they basically throwing himself to the wolves a lot of these times. Capture gonna take away his own red buff.
Yeah, not too much happening in the top lane too. Tendies is going to be respecting a little bit more that Capture could be in the area here. He has wards placed around the area, so he knows whenever they're coming. And
this is the dive. Defiant Fervor, nice dodge with the Hextech Ultimatum away from the Viego ultimate, but Predabear just finishes him off with a Mantra Q, and they're going to be able to back out of there. Ninga Flinga now gonna get jumped on by Tennies 2 with the counter strike. He's gonna put down a lot of damage, and like I said, that Thunder is a lot of damage. The Stormbringer disables the tower, and Tennies 2 basically gets solo killed there. The Capture threw in a bowling ball, but it didn't land. It was just moral support. And wow, Ninga Flinga 3-0-1 on this Volibear.
And it's quite unfortunate to see Tendies 2 this far behind. 0-4 for him, down on CS. He has to respect the top lane, and he has, but he's just, you know, Ninja Flame is just playing this really well because of all these early games that he had to capture. Still, so, unfortunate on that fact, but we'll just have to see. Maybe Snake can still find a way back into it. It's a 4k gold lead, just about, maybe closer to about 3.4 in a sense, but in any case, it's still quite a huge gold lead. That's a full mythic item completed collectively.
Defiant Fervor goes in, hookshot, flash comes out, XSI lands the Dark Binding. There's going to be the double root coming up from Potato God. Here's the Encore as well into the Soul Echo stun. Capture is trying to run out of there using as much movement speed, but another Dark Binding lands. XSI gets a kill. That's 2 kills going the way of Snake, and that's a much needed stimulus package.
Absolutely. Picking up these kills are going to be helping out lots. XSI actually opted in to pick up the Dark Seal from his back, so he has 3 stacks on that now. Still going, which is going to be pretty nice. He knows that he needs to maybe he needs to be this sort of mid game point for Tendies and everyone to scale up to get up these 2 item power spikes. for this early game. Make sure it's not so hard because like we're down on a lot of CS in the mid lane. Top lane actually managed to even it out, but still a lot of gold missing for the side of Snake, and you know if they're able to pick it up here.
Feather Storm being used, but the Deadly Flourish is going to follow through, and Vital actually forcing them back in a 2v1. Meanwhile, here comes Predabear throwing at the Mantra Q. He's going to connect a little bit of damage on the Potato God. Now Parry Difference and Defiant Fervor trading back and forth in the mid lane.
Nothing too intense just yet. I guess we haven't really touched on it too much here, but for the late game wise, I do want to note Camille is actually a pretty strong late game champion whenever she has her mythic item, along with her Q, because it converts so much of that extra damage into true damage. It's really hard to kind of like deal with. And then, like we said, Jats is just great into the late game because he can split push really well and really unmatched in a lot of these cases, especially with Volibear that kind of just that falls off in the late game. So that is another avenue that Snake can really look for. They want to try to just stall that out until the late game point, and then Jin obviously scales really nicely into the late game because of how much AD he gets in the end whenever he's fully built. But we'll have to see how it really goes because late game wise for Imperial Knights White, there's still a lot to look forward to. Parry Difference and Vital on sort of these.
Be really careful here because here comes the jungle and the top laner. They're gonna see that they're spotted out by a ward, and they're just gonna give up the ghost there. Rift Herald gonna be dropped in the mid lane. And yeah, like you're talking about, a lot of late game power in these split pushers on the side of Snake. Cloud Drake gonna be started up by Imperial Knights White. It will be their second dragon of the game.
Second dragon of the game. They were able to get an early dragon lead previously, but now Cloud Drake is going to be the second dragon, so that means we'll see if what we have for left. So we have the Mountain, which is not necessarily an amazing one, but hey, extra resistances you're not going to complain about at all. Plus a shield in order to make it easier for Viego to try to get his pop off. Very welcomed indeed as well.
Yeah, I think Mountain Dragon and Ocean Dragon, I've since changed my opinion about Mountain Dragon. I think it's actually quite good. I think Mountain and Ocean, which one is better depends a lot on what team fights look like based on based on what champions have been picked. Ocean Dragon is going to be better when you have a lot of these beefcakes that are just going to hit each other over and over for a long time. Whereas the Mountain is better against things like Assassins, where you just want to be able to survive their initial burst and then turn around and kill them. So Mountain Soul in this particular game, it's whatever. I don't think it really tilts one way or the other just based on these two teams. There's not a lot of, it's not like super heavy upfront damage, but there's not like an insane amount of tankiness for them to make use of Ocean Soul. So whatever, you know. Defiant Fervor and Parry Difference going to be trading, but they do have the Lilia in the area. Defiant Fervor doesn't actually have this tower here, and he's actually just going to get run down by Parry Difference. Flash Auto will finish off the kill.
And Imperial Knights White, once again, Parry Difference is doing a good amount of work, but also Ninja just doing a great job in this early game, mid game, transitioning into right now. So this is more carries than we had previously, and Imperial Knights White won with just basically one carry for the mid game. We'll have to see if Snake can actually make a comeback for this.
Paragon actually just had to flash away, was about to get rooted by the Karma W, so a lot of respect there. They know that this red buff jungle is not their own. It belongs now to Imperial Knights White. Deadly Flourish going to go wide as Captor going to look for a Q, doesn't connect onto anybody. Meanwhile, Ningaflinga and Tendies 2 trading up in the top lane. A lot of damage on the Paragon, and he's going to get put to sleep. Potato God trying to cover for him. There's the ultimate coming out from Vital. A really nice exhaust, but it's going to be the Gale Force that finishes him off. XSI going to get the Black Shield broken. Defiant Fervor is on the way down here. Parry Difference teleports in and immediately annihilates XSI. Captor going to go down to Defiant Fervor. Is he going to be able to finish off Predabear? There's the... Yes, he will! Wow! The Trinity Force will be doing enough damage. A double kill for the mid laner on the side of Snake, and now Parry Difference is on the run out this side. Trying to finish him off with the help of Vital. Blast Cone will get him out. Whoa! Flash Q shuts down him! Defiant Fervor picks up three kills in quick succession as he takes out Vital, who got a little bit too close. Died with Flash and Heal, was not expecting the burst damage coming out that Flash Q. Now Tendies 2 actually winning out on this trade from Ningaflinga, but very quickly turned around as that Thunder lands. Ningaflinga putting Tendies 2 back down on equalizing his health bar.
Yeah, really good job there. I mean, honestly, I think that was a pretty decent fight for Snake, just because Devin Favor is now a little bit more ahead than he used to be. He's not, not ahead by any means because he's still 30 CS below and he's at the same scoreline as parry difference was, but he's definitely a lot more into this game here than he previously was.
Uh-oh,
And that's
Tendy's
something to
going
look
to already
forward to.
use the leap strike. He's going to prod the Grandmaster's Might. Ninga Flinga going to back away because here comes XSI and Potato God. Predabear is going to be found here by Defiant Fervor. The hookshot going to land, going to stun him up. Going to get rooted in place, and they're going to back away. There's the Encore, nicely dodged away by Vidal, but he's going to save Defiant Fervor's life here. No flash and no ultimate available for the Camille. And looks like a dive is going to be happening in the bottom lane. Paragon taking a ton of damage from parry difference. He's just going to get annihilated by the ultimate and back out from the tower.
Yeah, going to be taking up Jin Soul here for a little bit of a heal. Not going to be getting extra damage on the tower, but it's nonetheless. I mean, you got to heal, so it's nice.
And you're going to get a face check onto Ninga Flinga. He's going to throw it down the counter strike, back away here. Ninga Flinga going to go with the Chem Tank, Chem Tank. Gonna jump in onto him. It's not the Chem Tank Putrifier. There's a different item. Turbo Chem Tank is the item name I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Putrifire's just been such a mainstay recently. Parry Difference gonna try and ignore Defiant Fervor and pick off this tower. He's gonna get the hook shot here, finishes off the tower. The Soul Shackles comes down, and they're gonna take him out for a shutdown.
Shutdown over for XSI. Going to be pretty decent, but honestly, I would like it a little bit more in depth. Defiant Fervor, just because he is playing this Camille. It's a pretty strong thing to have. And whenever they're pretty, have some items up on them, able to provide a lot of these one-shots with the Q, but we'll have to see how XSI is able to really deal with that, at least.
Alright, Mountain Drake is on the table, going to be started up by Snake. They don't want to let the Mountain Soul go the way of Imperial Knights White, a lot more impactful than the Cloud Soul, so they are going to go ahead and start this one up. Will they be able to get it? Yes, they will. The 4-shot will secure it. Here we go. There's the Mantra E, give them a lot of move speed, but the root comes down onto Predabear, and the Dark Binding going to connect onto Captor, so that'll be a nice disengage by the members of Snake, Dragon, and out.
Really nicely done. They don't want to be put in that scenario where it's either soul or nothing. When they already have like some pretty decent momentum, they don't have to deal with the late game super threats.
And these two push the tower down, but he used the counter strike on the minion wave, and he's just gonna get taken out by parry difference. Just like the way Tendy's 2 plays these games is so like disrespectful is the only term for it, because he goes for the counter strike on the minion wave. He doesn't respect the possibility that anybody's up there to punish him for it. He's 0-5-0, still playing like he is 5-0. I don't know.
Yeah. I think partially due is like he's not too worried about like maybe giving up a couple more kills because he's not worth as much gold anyways, and he's like, I'm just trying to scale, get to my point where I am a threat where I can just push without impunity. But because of that, he is giving up a little bit extra more gold over for Viego, who has finished up both Kraken Slayer and the Blade of Rune King. He has 2 of them now, his own and his item form. I'm surprised, honestly, I'm surprised there's no voice line that says that talks about how Viego has to buy his own sword again.
Is there really not?
Yeah, no, I was looking into it. I was like, wow, really nothing about him buying his sword or like, hey, it's nice to see you again or anything like that. He just buys it and then leaves base.
Wow, how unceremonious. Baron is on the table. Neither of these teams really making a move towards it. Parry difference gonna be handed off the red buff by Capture. A lot of power in this Viego, 6-3-1. A lot of on-hit damage between Kraken Slayer and the Blade of the Rune King. Heading up towards Tendy's 2. He does have a 2-level discrepancy between him. Tendy's 2 gonna look for the counter-strike, actually going for the 1v1 here. The Grandmaster's Might has been used, and he actually gets the kill to parry difference before he goes down to Capture in his ultimate. Wow, how did that happen? 2-level discrepancy, the Jax is down 2 levels and a ton of gold, and somehow is able to just 1v1 parry difference.
Maybe, again, maybe that's why we were thinking.
Wow, like, good hookshot flash, stuns up Vital as well, forces the ultimate out. There's the curtain call. One more shot will finish the job, but he's out of range. He goes very low, and there's the kill coming out for Defiant Fervor.
Yeah, games turning around definitely for them. Unfortunately, Tendies 2 did reset his gold, but I mean, now he also got a big bounty coming out from Parry Difference, so maybe that's like his last kill or last death, honestly. Picking up all of that. He's not necessarily at the Triforce moment yet where he's like uber powerful, but I mean, he just 1v1 Parry Difference, 2-level discrepancy, and down a full item. If we're looking at components wise, it's like basically down to a full item worth, and still he still managed to get all that damage off. Maybe Parry Difference pulled the trigger a little too early on his ulti. Maybe he needs to hold that and be careful of it. And also, but I mean, Tendies 2 just able to actually win out on that fight was pretty huge, showing that he can still 1v1, even though he's 0-5 at the moment. He can still pick up a kill on the Parry Difference as this solo lane carry, and I mean, he's farming up still very well. We'll have to see how Tendies 2 is going to be continuing forward. He does have a little issue with Ninja Flinga, but we'll just have to see.
Honestly, my only conclusion now is that Jax is overpowered. Like, what the heck? How can you be like 2,000 to 3,000 gold discrepancy as well as 2 levels, which is another like 1,000 or so gold worth of stats, and just like win just off of base damages alone? That's crazy. I guess maybe Parry Difference didn't land his stun or something, but Tennies 2 now in a 1v2 situation. They're not going to make the same mistake. He's going to go for the counter-strike. He's going to try and finish off. What? He's going to kill Captor! Zanya's Hourglass and the ultimate going to come out stunned up, and he will go down before they finishes off the Lilia. I hate Jax, man!
He scales. He just scales so well, and he has a lot. He's Alright. So with Jack, he has a lot of defensive capabilities whenever he's just building offense. It's like a 2 times sort of scaling thing. He pops that Grandmaster, he gets a bunch of resistances that he wasn't building in the first place. So whenever he pops that, he just gets a lot of value out of his stats from his ulti. And on top of that, he, as long as you can do correct cancellations, you have a lot of damage underneath your belt, even if you're like down so many items out in a numbers disadvantage.
Snake actually started the Baron, but they're going to be forced out here by the Turbo Chem tank coming in. He's going to stun up the Morgana. The Encore comes out for a good disengage. Stormbringer comes down. They take out the Seraphine. They haven't killed anybody, but a Dark Binding lands onto the Xayah. A lot of damage comes out, but Parry Difference goes in with the ultimate, takes out Paragon. XIV goes golden with the Soul Shackles, but he's just going to be taken down. It's going to be a quick 4-for-1 in favor of IKW.
Hero Knights White definitely going to be enjoying that one to try to maybe snowball their lead. They don't need to touch Jats if he's just going to be in the side lane. They're just going to go ahead and try to take up this Baron and try to end it off there. But Jat also looking to pick up the Dragon in order to make sure that they aren't going to be closer to Dragon's Soul. Plus, Mount Drake actually does work out well for him, but he needs to watch out. There's 2 TPs coming through.
Yeah, 2 teleports coming in. He wasn't able to take the Mountain Drake in time, so now he's going to have to get out of there, and he's basically just leashed it for IKW. It's not Soul, but it is going to put them 1 away. So this is a very dangerous situation for Snake.
Alright, well, after watching Tendies almost get 2 kills back-to-back, being 2v1, I want to put up another prediction, but here comes another fight.
Yeah, Tendies 2, I guess Ninja Flinga is the only one he can't really do that to because he's the one building tank stats. I guess? I don't know. I get the feeling he maybe actually could have taken that fight if he wanted to, but playing a little bit more respectfully because it would take a lot more time to kill the Volibear.
And we already saw the TPs coming in. But there was at least 2 TPs for that dragon, so he was like, oh yeah, Parry Difference probably still in the area, and I don't want to give him more gold than he already has. So, don't want to extend fights too long here. Looking at it, we do see Tendies back at it with the split push. Honestly, he's doing a great job at his job, just split pushing the entire time. Looking just...
Parry Difference is going to get jumped on, the counter-strike and the stun and the double root from the Seraphine. They're going to be able to finish him off. Parry Difference is going to go down, trying to use the ultimate to escape. There's the curtain call, not going to catch on to anybody. Hook shot canceled with a blast cone, really nicely done. Encore, not quite going to connect onto any members of IKW, so it's just going to be one and done kill for them on the Parry Difference.
Yeah, Peyo's God was a little too high on that ulti, actually. If he was just slightly a bit lower, he was able to hit 2 people, maybe even 3, because of the extension after it. But but he did throw it a little too high, had the angle just right wrong. He wants to be able to, go parallel with it, but he was just slightly off and it went off into the river rather than following the complete path of the area.
All right. These teams posturing around this raptor pit, I suppose. They're gonna back away now, get back to pushing all these side lanes, and let Tendies 2 continue to split push and become Jax. Trinity Force and Blade of the Rune King finished off for him.
And there we go. Sorry, just finishing up that prediction for you guys. If you will want to vote, is this going to be the Tendy Stiff on the Jack that somehow keeps getting kills, or is this going to be still the parry diff who keeps, who does a lot of damage in a lot of these team fights? He's doing a great job in these team fights, but he can't necessarily take on the Jack by himself. Ooh.
Predabear didn't get hit by that deadly flourish, but he also failed to splash over the wall. Now Defiant Fervor is going to get jumping onto Predabear here. He's the Hextech ultimatum onto him, but he's going to get caught and slowed. Tendies 2 finishes the job, but he is going to cost him his life. Parry Difference on the other side was able to finish off Potato God. Now Paragon getting jumped on. XIV going to throw the Black Shield onto himself. Dark Binding going to go down onto Parry Difference, but he's going to get taken out by Captor. And it's going to be a 4-4-1 in favor of IKW once again. Paragon trying to sneak his way out of there, but he's surrounded and he's going to get taken out. Ace goes the way of IKW.
Yeah, Imperial Knights White just playing this game very well here for against Snake, who previously are undefeated team. They did play against IKW, and honestly, I think Snake said that was their hardest matchup. It was a hard-fought victory from what I saw in the for Snake versus Imperial Knights White previously, but now it's looking a lot more in favor for Imperial Knights White. How this rematch that they've been wanting, this is it. And
Iron Fervor ready to go in. The hook shot going to be used on the Ninga Flinga. The Encore going to catch 2, dodged away by the Feather Storm, and now they don't have anything left. And they're gonna have to back away. Defiant Fervor gonna go for the hook shot, but he gets stunned up and die. But Tendies 2 on the flank gets a 2-man counter strike, but he's just melting. Parry Difference flashes for the auto attack and doesn't finish the job. Exercise goes golden with the soul shackles, but the golden comes out from Captor as well. And that's my game froze. Did you?
Yeah, me too. I think it's a bug, honestly, that's been going on because it would at least show the surrender previously. So I'm assuming that is the game there. GG's to both sides. I'm switching over back to the webcams. Heyo. So that looks like it's going to be the series. Imperial Knight White, congratulations. You guys done it. It looks like it was the parry difference in that game. Let me just go ahead and close out the submission because I made that a little bit too late. But in any case, congratulations to you guys. And yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about that game a little bit? Just like
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it. Honestly, I'm surprised that Tendies 2 was able to do any of the things that he did. But a lot of power comes out from Ninga Flinga just because of how much early gold that Tendies ended up giving over. I think he was like 050 at one point, just like dying solo, dying to ganks. Really just not a great situation. And then Parry Difference had a really great series. Like both of these games, he was just popping off the Zinzao and the Viego. A lot of credit has to be given to the solo laners on Imperial Knights White. Even in game number 1, where Ninga Flinga was down a ton of CS, he was very impactful as that Volibear. So congratulations to Imperial Knights White. A fight a well-deserved win for them in Diamond Cap of Season 14. Yeah, and not to bash on Snake either, because Snake, they had an undefeated regular season. They had some really good moments in this series, and of course they had to win semifinals to get in here. So, really good job by them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, and even though you weren't able to finish it out there, Snakes did an amazing job so far. It's just Tendies wasn't able to really recover from his early game after that. And then, Divine Favor got some good kills, but he wasn't able to necessarily pop off as well. Parry Difference just a little too strong in the mid lane. And my own Ninja Flinga just kind of, I felt like, honestly, it felt like a little bit of a counter pick into the Jats, or at least Capture did a good job at keeping attention up there and then to keep him behind. So, really well played there. Congratulations to Imperial Knights White. You guys did a great job in the series. Kept it up, and you guys are our first place winners for Diamond. Checking over on Get 2, I believe they're done with their games as well. I'm not entirely sure. I'm checking right now. Oh yeah, they are like at the end of it. So
Ah,
yeah, so
all right. Well, I
Bye.
guess that means that you guys get an hour or so. We're gonna be back here at 3 o'clock for the Gold Cap finals here on this stream. The Gold Cap third place match will be happening at the same time over on twitch.tv/getwrecked2. Hope to see you guys at one of those. We're gonna take a short break and be back in about an hour. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you. So see you guys later. Bye bye.